right, Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. All right, before we begin, a couple quick announcements. First and foremost, if you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com. The type of readings I do offer are telepathic demonic readings, Santa Muerte and Spirit of the Dead readings, deity readings to see what spirits, gods, goddesses walk with you, shadow work readings, which are a great place to not just to start, but always to see what's going on with the shadow or the hidden self, to see what's locked in the subconscious mind, to see what direction you should be going into, to do ritual work. A lot of people always ask, what should I be doing at the current moment? I'm a little uncertain. What direction should I be headed into? Well, shadow work reading is good for that. One of the many reasons it's good for, because that's really going to lock you in, one, on making sure you're doing the correct ritual work that's suiting your needs, taking care of your needs first, as opposed to sometimes we get caught up in working for our wants, right? Egyptian oracle readings I offer. Anyway, for a full list of readings, or if maybe you're interested in just booking a spiritual consultation, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. Please include in that email a full weekly availability of days and times you're available, and also the time zone that you are in. That speeds up the process. It cuts down on the back and forth email, because as you know, I get a ton of emails into my email box. It'll just save time with the back and forth. All right. If you want to sign up for classes, the way to sign up for classes is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, located at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. That's patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti.com. Tier 3, that's the tier you want to join. Tier 3 gives you access to all of the classes, the 3 I do privately every month on Patreon, and the group ritual we do together at the end of the month. And also, when you join the Patreon page to sign up for the classes, you do not just get access from the day you join moving forward. I want to be clear on that. You get access to everything in the archives going 4+ years back now and counting. I have a bunch of ongoing series. I have Ancient Egyptian Vampiric class, Sith, Dark Side, Alchemy, and Philosophy class. I have Telepathic Sorcery class. I have Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery class. Necromancy and Dark Witchcraft class. Kundalini Meditation and Awakening class. Shadow Work class, 20 deep and counting. I'm probably missing a few others. Esoterical Occult Bible Study class. Eastern Left Hand Path Occult class, if you want to learn about the Jinn, Shaitan, and Left Hand Path philosophy from Eastern mysticism perspective. That's a great class. There's a lot of classes. And if you go onto my Patreon page and you go to the collection section, you will see each class labeled and archived in numerical order, and you can see how many classes are in each one. And I'm continuously adding new classes all the time to the ongoing series, plus adding new classes overall, new topics, new areas of study. And again, there's enough of content on there that's going to keep you busy for years, and that's not even an exaggeration. And again, I say with confidence, nobody, and I'm telling you, nobody is offering what I'm offering for what I'm offering it for. And I say that out of confidence, not arrogance. Okay? So check it out, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. If you want to take your path of self-mastery to that next level, that's the way you want to do it. All right? So check that out. Also, if you haven't checked out our social media pages, check us out on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, all one word. Check us out on Facebook, Primordial Chaos, 2 words. I upload all this new YouTube content to the Facebook page. And yes, the TikTok page is up and running. Slowly but surely, it's growing. Content being added on a regular basis. Check us out on TikTok, Primordial Chaos, 2 words. All right? And don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, along with my contact email address, and along with the direct link to the Patreon page to sign up for classes, All of that is in the description box of this video that you are currently watching right now. All right. And also one last announcement, mark your calendars. October 2024 of this year, the 7th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference, 7 years and counting, will be again at Cultural Expressions in Hollywood, Florida. That'll either be the 3rd or the 4th week in October. More to come on that as we get later in the year. All right. All right. So you see the topic. This comes up a lot, and maybe you've asked yourself this question. I don't think I need these no more. It looks like the sun's starting to settle down there. We hear people use this term in a lot of different systems, the spirit world. Right? I'm going to use a very mainstream term that you hear on a regular basis. And I always known years back, that's one of the things that I always used to wonder about, where is the spirit world? When people say that, they say in the spirit world, the spirits, the spirit world. Well, where exactly is the spirit world? Okay? Again, it's a phrase, it's a term we hear in many different paths of spirituality. That word spirituality, the spirit world, this, that, and the other. Where is it? Okay? Is it above? Is it out there somewhere? Is it in far reaches of outer space? Is it in the fragments of our mind or imagination? Where is the spirit world? Well, let's first start with where it's not. First of all, let's establish a couple of things. When we're using terminology like that, we're using terminology, again, that is limited and confined to the understanding of three-dimensional things, person, place, and thing. So even when you're using a term, where is the spirit world or the spirit world, you're still defining it in the category of a thing. You'll find that most humans, no matter what they conceive of in their mortal mind, everything you possibly can conceive falls under the category of person, place, and thing. That's what three-dimensional existence and things are. They're defined by person, places, and things. First of all, when we talk of things of a spiritual nature, whether you're calling it the spirit realm, the spirit world, or things of a spiritual nature, you limit it when you try to define it by three-dimensional definitions. All right? I've been telling people this for years. It's like asking the question, what is God? How did God become? If we're going to use that terminology and if we're going to believe that nonsense that there's a beginning, and the question simply arises, well, how did God get there? And then all of a sudden crickets, right? Because you can't explain it. Why? Because you're stuck in that paradigm of three-dimension, person, place, and thing. Because if there is a beginning, and that beginning is, say, you attribute it to the book of Genesis in religion and theology, you're stuck like Chuck. If anybody with common sense goes, well, how did God get there? The only answer you get is spookism. Well, you see, brother, God is mysterious and nobody. See, that's the cop-out. That's because you've trapped yourself and confined yourself to a three-dimensional understanding of person, place, or thing. God is a thing. Okay? When you look at it from the religious context or perspective, it is a thing. Things of a spiritual nature are beyond person, places, and things. Okay? So the spirit world is not up there, out there, somewhere far out there. It's not heaven, right? Because heaven is a mythology. It's a play on words. The English language is a very confusing language that's grafted from every language that came before it. The word heaven comes from the word haven, a place of hiding or enclosure. The word hell is they get that from the Greek Hades, right? One means a place to dock. The other means a place of hiding or enclosure, right? So there's a play on words to capture your imagination, right? And this keeps you trapped in the paradigm of person, place, and thing. So heaven is somewhere out there above you. Pay attention. Hell is somewhere below you, and you're stuck in the middle. Do you see the psychological game in that? And it's funny because when most people pray, they're taught to look up in the air, in the sky, right? And then you're taught the devil and demons live somewhere down there. Well, I'm here to bust your bubble and all that shit. That's all mythology. That's all not factual information. It's faith and belief, and it's religious dogma. So if you're under that school of thought, that system of learning, then yeah, that applies to you. But when you come across somebody who questions that, and it's very easy to question and disseminate and destroy that, can't get upset because you really can't prove it. Okay? Because even in their Bible, it says faith without works is dead. So you can't just operate on blind faith alone. There has to be some substance to that faith. So what we're calling the spiritual realm or the spiritual planes, we see this all the time. The material plane, the mental plane, except we've seen all this, and you always see these illustrations of like in layers on top of layers, like they're spears. But it's again taking you back to that spookism that you're elevating up there, out there, somewhere. And I keep trying to tell you, the spiritual world, the spiritual planes are interwoven around you. Anybody that studies alchemy, quantum or metaphysics, spiritual science understands that this is what it also means when we're not looking outside of ourselves or out there somewhere to get a greater understanding of what the spirit world is and the spirit realm, and these things that we call spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons, right, exist within that interwoven realm or planes around you, which is activated by the mental plane. Okay? All is mental. Mental is all. The universe is mental. Every god, goddess, demon, spirit that you connect with, that you gave shape, life, and form to, was activated by your mental powers. Because people always ask the question, are the spirits, demons, gods, and goddesses real, or are they just symbolic? Is it a metaphor? Their energy, so they're very real. But how they materialize for you on a personal level depends on how you give it life and form, based on how you've activated that consciousness within your subconscious mind. So this is what I mean when I've been saying for years, the gods and the goddesses are as real or unreal as you make them. Okay? Energy is something, as we said, that can't be created or destroyed. It can only be manipulated because it has always existed. And this is why I said you can't put time frames on demons, gods, and goddesses and spirits. People want to do it. Oh, that deity goes back to that culture. But they've been synchronized with many other systems going back many years. This is why people say, is this deity, that deity in this culture? Yeah, there's a synchronization there. But that just means that energy can take life and form whenever it sees fit, because you're dealing with a higher intelligence and consciousness. You have that ability too, but we've just lost it because we've been so programmed with dogma, with religion, and all these systems of conformity that have taken away our divinity. So it's hard for us to grasp the divine that exists within us. We fight it all the time. We want to brace out mortality than we do more than our divinity. Okay? So the spirit world and the power of your divinity is interwoven around you and within you. I keep saying this. The gods live inside of you. So when you see these illustrations, sometimes you see illustrations in some spiritual books, they'll have a figure of a human person, and then you'll see their aura, and around their aura, they'll be emanating vibrational frequencies of color, and then planes that go around in these interwoven circles, right? This is what it means when it says you are Al-Qub, the center of your universe. This is what it means in Sufi mysticism and Eastern left-hand path occult mysticism, that you are the Al-Qub, or the center of your universes, I should say, but of your domain. And when you're firm on your axis and all those spiritual planes are interwoven around you and you're in the dead center, that's when your vibrational frequency is in alignment with the spirit world. So the veil is lifted. The gates are open. You can penetrate the things that you were not able to see anymore. Why? Because your vibrational frequency has sped up. What was now at a low vibrational frequency that was blocking your connection is now open, right? Movies like The Matrix were trying to show this in those movies. the matriarchal system and the patriarchal system, and you must break the matrix, right? What was it showing you too? Neo, and like I said before, I did a whole video on that, the neocortex portion of your brain. That's why they named him Neo. When that cortex is really activated and you're tapped into your consciousness to your full potential, you're able to tap into these spiritual planes. I'm giving you jewels on how you do ritual work too. This is the spirit realm is right at your fingertips, people. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them trick you and try to look somewhere way out there or over here and this, that, and the other. No, that's not what it's talking about, people. It's not what it's talking about, okay? It's interwoven around you. A lot of it is opened and accessed by raising your your vibrational frequency. That's where the spirit realm is, okay? What religious folks are calling heaven and the trick that they've been playing on them for years, whether you're a Muslim, Christian, or Jew, and you call it paradise, right? Whatever term you use for it, heaven, paradise, nirvana, the trick was to get you to think it's somewhere out there beyond the stars, way out there up in the sky somewhere. See, another trick to have you look as far away from yourself as understanding the truth as you can be. See, the goal with a lot of these dogmas, religions, philosophies, and spiritual systems is to keep your focus, again, as far away from the center of you. They don't want you to understand what's going on in here and what's going on in here. Because once you're able to tap in, then it's hard for them to trick and deceive you. Okay? So, as I've said on and off over the years in many classes, there's been a battle and a war for the control of your mind. Because if they can control your mind, they got your soul. Because the mind, the body, and the soul are connected. But they have to capture your mind. And once they can capture your mind and control your imagination, they know they can do serious things to mess around with you if they really wanted to. They really can. It's that simple. All right? But when we open our consciousness up, right, or we allow our psyche to be activated by this awareness, it takes things to a whole nother level. Okay? So this is why I say the spirit world is interwoven around you. It's at the access of it is at your fingertips. Don't get tricked again and spooked into believing that it's somewhere way out there. And that's why when you look at religion, as I said earlier, when people pray, right? When people pray, they're automatically programmed to look up in the sky. Okay? That's how deep the programming is. Right? Because the fairy tale that they taught you from day one is that God exists somewhere out there, way up there, out there in the far reaches of the, right? And then they even created imagery to enforce that spell even stronger, right? He's sitting up there in the clouds in a place called heaven on a throne, right? And all this other foolishness, okay? So long story short, the spiritual planes are interwoven around you. All right? Stop looking for the answers outside of yourself. I mean, I don't know how many times this I've said it and has been said by many others over the years, but people still want to tap into and embrace their mortality more than their divinity. Okay? We can't figure out and understand everything from a three-dimensional understanding. As I said, once you have your spiritual experiences through your ritual work and you vibrate outside of person, place, and thing, through your ritual work, you get a greater understanding of what these things really are and what they represent. Okay? Now, if you don't want to put in the work, and you just want to believe, and you just want so bad to be stuck in that spectrum of faith and belief, then go ahead, knock yourself out. Okay, knock yourself out. And then you'll be stuck in a paradigm of just accepting things and not understanding why you're accepting them. That's basically and essentially what that is. Okay, so if that's your choice, that's what you want to do. Hey, you do whatever you want, right? It is your choice. All right, having said that, I'm not going to make this one too long. That's going to do it for this video. But real quick, again, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual consultation or reading, or if you want to sign up for classes, go to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, BANITI.com. All the links, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos podcast, the direct link, links to the social media pages, the direct link for the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes, my contact email address. All of those links are in the description box of this video that you're currently watching right now. All right? That's going to do it for me. Infernal blessings. And we'll talk soon. All right?